today's video, I want to talk about why I am bullish on Robinhood's new venture fund. As you can see here, Robinhood just launched their first venture fund ever, and they are planning to do more. So first, let's talk about what this really is. Robinhood just launched its first ever ventures fund, its ticker symbol RVI, on February 17, 2026. It's a $1 billion closed-end fund that's IPOing on the New York Stock Exchange with shares priced at $25 each. Basically, it's Robinhood's way of democratizing access to private companies, the kind of hot startups that usually only big institutions or ultra-wealthy folks get to invest in early. The fund's already got stakes in some killer names like Databricks, Oura, Revolut, and more like Airwallex, Boom, Mercor, and Ramp. They've even committed to having heavy hitters like Stripe and SpaceX soon. Think about it. These are companies innovating in AI, fintech, health tech, and even supersonic travel with Boom. And the best part, there's no accreditation required. No huge minimum investment, just buy shares like any stock on Robinhood. So, as you can see here, they made some videos about it, Robinhood itself, and you get to learn a bit about each company. There's Databricks, Mercor, Ramp, Airwallex, Boom, and Oura. And honestly, if I was going to invest, I've already watched all of these, but I would watch them again. And then they've also had conversations with institutional people like Brad Gerstner and Bill Ackman, which are both fund managers. And yeah, here's some common questions. So yeah, just a cool investment fund. And now let's talk about why am I investing. The first reason is because you gain access to private markets. As a retail trader, I've always been locked out of pre-IPO deals. Funds like this, they're rare for us everyday investors. RVI gives me exposure to late-stage private companies that could explode in value when they go public or get acquired. Databricks alone is valued at billions and growing fast in the AI boom. Imagine riding that wave early. As you can see here, you can take a look at some of these companies' valuations. And like with Databricks, it's valued at $134 billion, and this could double if they IPO. Let me look at some others. Sorry. Revolut, which is a fintech company, 75 billion. So yeah, just a lot of these companies have like a ton of money already invested into them, and they have so high valuations. So yeah, as you can see, this is basically how the fund is divided up. 24% to Databricks, 14% to Revolut, 14% to Mercor, 7% Airwallex, 7% Boom, 7% Aura, and 7% Ramp, and then 20% left for if they're going to invest in other things like Stripe or SpaceX. And yeah, so one thing to note is that each share is going to cost $25, and I forget when is it going to IPO. Oh yeah, it's going to IPO on the 6th, which is in about 12 days. So it's about 2 weeks ahead. Still have plenty of time. And one thing that I would like to point out is although other funds like ARK Invest have made venture funds before, which I think when ARK did this, it was honestly the first of its kind. As you can see, they also invest in a bunch of different companies. Yeah, the ARK Venture Fund, and it has some big names in there. I think like OpenAI is in there. Anthropic, SpaceX, XAI, Figure AI, Databricks, Zipline, Boom, Grok, OpenAI. So just a ton of like names that you've heard of before. And this is very similar to Robinhood, but Robinhood will have full liquidity, meaning that you can trade it whenever you want, unlike ARK's venture fund, which you can only sell at certain points and at certain prices, whereas RVI basically trades like a stock. And now let's talk about the second reason. This is because there is diversification with upside. My portfolio is heavy on public stocks and crypto, but private equity have historically outperformed the S&P 500 over long periods. This fund's concentrated on frontier companies, ones pushing boundaries in their industries. Plus, with a management fee starting at just 1% for the first 6 months, then 2%, and no performance fees, it's way more affordable than traditional VC funds like ARK Invest, and there's no lockup fee there, so you can trade it daily once it's listed. So yeah, as I was talking about before, fully liquid, can trade it whenever you want, and has a bunch of names. This is honestly one of the most impressive things that Robinhood has ever done, and is why I'm super bullish on the company and why I will be invested. And now let's talk about the risks. Private markets can be very volatile. These companies aren't public yet, so valuations might fluctuate based on market sentiment. The fund's closed end, which means shares could trade at a premium or discount to the actual asset value. And while some critics are skeptical, saying it's time for liquidity in a tough VC environment, potentially off-roading risk to retail folks like us. And remember, past performance isn't a guarantee. I would always do your own research, folks, and I'm diversifying. I'm not going all in. So yeah, I'm definitely not putting all my money into this fund, but I'm super bullish on it, and I think that it has a great upside. I can see it popping off on the first day, and honestly, I could maybe see it going 50-ish% higher based on how the overall market is doing. Well, something to note is that this fund is very heavy on AI. Databricks is an AI company. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Databricks is a huge AI company. Revolut's an AI fintech company. What's Mercor? Yeah, it's another AI company. So all these companies are kind of focused on AI. So if the overall sentiment on AI goes down, then it's really not that good. Um, oh yeah, also Stripe. This is a fintech company that also uses a ton of AI. So yeah, it's just very focused on fintech and AI. So if these sectors did go down, it's gonna be really bad, and is why there is some risk to this company. But overall, I'm super bullish, and I'll definitely be investing. What do you guys think? Are you gonna invest in this fund or gonna hold off? Let me know down in the comments below.